This video was brought to you by manco.trade. This site allows you to instantly trade off your unwanted TF2 items in exchange for other TF2 items. Any money that would be left over on your side gets added to your balance, which you can use at any point in any other trades. It just gets stored on your account. They do giveaways every so often, so the link to the site will be down below. Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Joe and welcome to a brand new episode of the One Key Challenge. And today, if you couldn't tell by the title, we're going to be doing something a little bit different in the fact that I'm not going to be joining anyone today. No one else is going to be joining me. You're not going to hear anyone else in this video because this is mine being PyroJoe's One Key Challenge. So this was the idea initially given to me by GamePan, who's a good friend of mine, a fellow YouTuber who's actually featured on the channel before. He said it would be really interesting to see how I did a One Key Challenge as a fellow trader. He'd like to see what my investment would be in terms of what the cosmetics would be, what loadout I'd choose, what like the best investments would be to make. And then I was streaming yesterday, I believe, or the day before, and I asked you guys in the chat if you'd like to see a PyroJoe One Key Challenge. And you guys seem to love the idea. You thought it would be so interesting to see what I would choose, what my loadout would be, what my One Key Challenge would be. And I figured, you know what, I may as well. So this is going to be the PyroJoe One Key Challenge. So I've given it some thought. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to go over to either loadout.tf or the TF2 wiki and just take a look at the cosmetics, kind of come up with a theme as we go. I think I'm going to be doing a scout loadout as I am a scout main. I've got the key and everything ready. I just need to sell it on scrap.tf. So that's going to be the first thing we do. If you're wondering why there's a FaceCam there, firstly is because I bought a new webcam and it was a lot of money, so I want to use it. If you don't want me to do webcam stuff in future though, I do understand. And secondly is because if it's the PyroJoe One Key Challenge, you get to see PyroJoe. That's the basic gist of it. So if you want to see more webcam stuff in future, let me know kind of down below. I never normally do webcam stuff, like it's only something I'm starting to introduce recently. So yeah, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go and sell our key. Once we got our refined, we're going to take a look at some cosmetics.
12 seconds later.
Alright then guys, so we're going to be doing this kind of very unorthodox. So we've got the trade offer through from scrap.tf. Apparently we don't have the trade offer through. We were meant to have the trade offer through from scrap.tf, so that will come through in just a second. But what I've done is I've actually opened a notepad file that just says 36 because we are selling this key for 36 refined on the dot. And what this means is we've got exactly 36 refined to work with. So I'm going to accept the trade now, get the phone confirmed ready. And that's what we're going to be working with, 36 refined on the dot. So I'm tempted to work weapons into this. Meaning I'm tempted to buy 3 weapons, 3 cosmetics, meaning we have a complete loadout. But I'll see the cosmetics we decide on first. I'm sure if you know me, you know the cosmetics I'm going to be picking, or some of the cosmetics that I'm going to be picking. I have a very, very prominent idea in my head of how I want this loadout to look. But I'm going to phone confirm this trade now, get the refined metal in, and take a look at some cosmetics. Alright then guys, so I've got a list of scout cosmetics up, and I've also got a loadout.tf page up for the scout, and we're just going to be kind of playing around with different themes. So the first cosmetic that I was thinking, and I'll show you guys it here, was a relatively recent cosmetic. It came out in the gun metal update. I just pressed back by accident. Is the flakjack. And the flakjack, as I said, I don't know how many of you guys know this, the flakjack is my favourite scout cosmetic. I love how it looks, the mercenary vibes. Like the green army vest of it and like the bullets going across the front. I just think it looks so good, and you can get some very like intimidating vibes. And this thing is super cheap. I mean, you could pick up the strange variant of this for like 14 ref. I put this in my $10 scout loadout. If you haven't seen that, you can check that out. But yeah, this would be like ideal, I think, and a good starting point for our loadout. So one thing I don't want to do is restrict this to a scout only loadout. Obviously this is the scout loadout I'm going to be making, but what I'm trying to say is I don't want this to like not include multi-class cosmetics, because that's not what this series is about. This series is about the nicest loadout you can build for the 36 refined. So I'm going to head on to backpack.tf and check the price of a flakjack. Okay, so I'm on the backpack.tf page for the flakjack, and as you can see, although it's priced at between 6.88 and 7, these things seem to be selling for about 7.11. There's one for 6.94. I'm just going to take the one for 7.11, so I'm going to open up the notepad file and type 7.11, just so we can kind of factor that in and minus it from our 36 refined amount. We should have like 29 or 28 refined or so left. So that is going to be our first cosmetic, and we've put it on our scout in loadout.tf. Next up though, we want a hat, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, if I'm going for like a rugged military vibe, I'm really not seeing a lot of hats that kind of fit that here. However, I know there is an all-class hat that perfectly fits the vibe that I'm going for. This kind of rugged, intimidating vibe that I want our scout to have. And I'm just going to check the price of it now. This is going to be the Mercs Mohawk. And this thing is just 1.33 refined. Like, it would be silly not to include this in the loadout. I mean, it looks very intimidating. It goes with the flakjack so well. I'm just trying to think of how a third cosmetic could benefit this. But for just 1.33, we really can't be turning this down. Especially with the weapons that I'm going to be factoring into this loadout. So, our third and final cosmetic, I'm going to have to pick out now. I'm tempted to get something to go over the face. Maybe a Bruiser's bandana. But I know that's going to eat into the budget so largely. So, I'm going to have to stray away from that, I think, and pick up something a bit more suitable. So guys, I've found our third cosmetic. After a brief look on the Team Fortress 2 wiki, we found these transparent trousers, and what these are like cargo trousers or like military trousers, and this is going to go perfectly, as you can see, with our military army style vest that we have already. So I'm going to check the price of these things now. Hopefully they're not too expensive. The transparent trousers are 11.66. Let's check what they're being sold for. It might be less, it might be more. 11.88 is what they're being sold for. That means if we go on to Google now, do 11.88, 1.33 and 7.11. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a minus in each of these just to get the price off of 36. So we have 15.68 refined left after buying all of the cosmetics. We'll call that 15.66 for simplicity. So we have 15 refined and 2 reclaimed left to get the rest of the weapons. I think that's more than possible, honestly. I mean, let's take a look at the loadout, how it looks with all 3 cosmetics on. And I think I've done a really good job here. In terms of like the intimidating military vibe, I think I've nailed that, honestly. I think we've got very good coordination on the flakjack and the military trousers, and I think the Mohawk is perfect for that intimidating vibe. I mean, look at that from the side, man. The scout is looking very badass with this loadout. So I'm going to take a look at some weapons now and come back to you guys when I've used up 15.66 refined.
2,000 years later.
Alright then guys, so I've decided on the 3 weapons that I'm going to be using, and you've got to remember the theme we were going for, okay? So you may be thinking to yourself, there's not much you can do with 15 refined in terms of weapons. And you're right, I was going to go for a festivized scattergun, but I realised we couldn't even afford that. So I decided that if we're going to be posing for a loadout, and if we're going to be making a very specific themed loadout, I may as well just focus on one weapon. So the first time we're going to be getting it is a strange scattergun, and these things are essential. If you're a scout main or you want to build a scout loadout, you can pick yourself up a strange scattergun, track your kills, track how well you're doing. Stranges are just essential in my opinion, man. They're very nice to have, very nice pieces, and great for the loadout. And for just 10.66 refined, you really can't go too wrong. Secondly, we're going to be going with the flying guillotine, and this was, in terms of gameplay, the worst investment. In terms of how the appearance of the loadout looks, by far the best investment. Because what looks more intimidating than holding a meat cleaver that the scout is ready to throw? Like, if I just put this thing on our loadout right now, wait, can I do it here? I can. Just look at that, dude. Look how intimidating our scout looks with that. So that is the weapon we're going for the posing. We're only going for this for the aesthetics. And the third item is going to be a conscientious objector, or it's the conscientious objector. Purely for the fact that, I mean, it fit the budget. It's a nice all-class melee weapon. You can use this on any of your loadouts if you want to pick this thing up. And you can put any picture you want on it, so that's always a bonus. But with everything included, I'm pretty sure we've used up the full budget. I will put calculations on the screen now. We may have a tiny bit left over, but really nothing to shout home about. We have used up our key to its full, so I'm going to pick up all of the cosmetics and show you guys how they look in game. Alright then guys, so this is how the loadout looks in game, and honestly I couldn't be happier. I think I executed the theme that I went out to do perfectly. We've got this like camo trousers, as you can see, which go perfectly with this military jacket and the bullets going across the front. We've got the Mercs Mohawk, which is a very intimidating kind of like, I don't think it's too military themed, but it's definitely very intimidating. There is a camouflage helmet for the scout, but with the weapons included as well, we definitely couldn't have fit it in our budget. So I'm just very, like, this is just a very intimidating looking loadout, and I'm definitely very happy with how this came out. We've got the strange scattergun, the strange guillotine, and the conscientious objector all in the loadout, and this is my 1 key challenge. So guys, leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on the loadout and the video itself down below. If you'd like to see me do more FaceCam stuff, then again let me know down in the comments below. As I said, this webcam was like a pretty big investment, so it's definitely something I'd like to utilize more. So maybe if you could drop some like ideas down below of what you'd like me to do, that'd be hugely appreciated. Guys, leave a like if you enjoyed, and yeah, thanks again for watching, and peace.